The Chicago Bulls suffer a beatdown in Beantown, losing to the Boston Celtics handedly. They only held the lead in the game for 10 seconds, Pat. We're going to talk about it all and more on today's Locked On Bulls.
You are Locked On Bulls, your daily Chicago Bulls podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thank you for tuning in to Locked On Bulls, member of the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every single day. I'm Haize, host and creator of Chicago Bulls Central and Chicago Bears Central YouTube pages and podcasts. And that's Pat, the designer, host and creator of the Windy City Breeze and host of the Chicago Bears podcast over at ESPN 1000. And today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Pat, yeah, bro. The Bulls got their butts kicked tonight, bro.
Big shock.
Yeah. It was bad. It was bad.
Was that how we started the pod? It was bad? Yeah. It was horrible. I mean, look, we said this. First off, Coby White, first game back, kind of knew he wasn't going to be, I mean, this might be himself, but we knew he wasn't going to be the efficient scorer that sometimes we get an opportunity to see from Coby White. 6 for 15 in this game in total. Couldn't hit the broadside of a barn from three-point line tonight. Literally, I mean, a great 16 points, but it doesn't help when you're giving up so many easy buckets defensively on the other end of the floor. Nikola Vucevic looks like somebody who's in trade talks for the Chicago Bulls right now. Lonzo did his best trying to get everybody involved, but then it came down to him taking shots. He wasn't ready to go. Ayo Dosunmu still looks solid. I could buy him solid. Yeah, I still look like a solid player. Yeah. You're going to build around anybody. I take Ayo right now. And Josh Giddey look, Haize, maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm new. Maybe I don't know if you've been dealing with this all season. Is there just a contingency trying to force that Josh Giddey's good?
No, I mean,
is there a there's this like rookie love for Josh Giddey, like he's not a fourth-year player in the NBA?
I think the thing with Josh Giddey is there's a contingent of fans that sees how Josh Giddey. The things that Josh Giddey does well. He does do some things well out there. He's 100%. A very, very good rebounder. He makes some incredible passes at time. His vision and understanding the anticipation of where the defense is going to go so he can manipulate it to pass is really good. But then that same contingent somehow ignores some of the things that Josh Giddey does bad. Like if he's guarding anything else but oxygen, I don't think he does a good job.
I've seen him gasp on the court, so I don't even know if he's guarding oxygen well. No. Here's my thing. Here's my thing, right? Uh-huh. If you have the skill set that Josh Giddey has, which most of us believe, he's a hell of a facilitator.
Yes.
When he wants to be. He can find people on the floor, he can make these passes, and you just go, okay, all right, this guy's got that as an answer. Don't you need to see, like, at least in my mind, I remember Jason Kidd couldn't shoot. He'd get to the rim, but he couldn't shoot. So he was like, I'm going to give you 15 assists tonight. If you're 6'8" and that level of player, I need to see on a consistent basis at least 15 points out of you, especially in this NBA. And at least 10 assists. You have to be the guy controlling the offense in my mind. And that's the one thing where every single night that I watch Josh Giddey, I go, he's a good passer, but I'm not sitting here like feeling like he's running the floor, like he's in control of everything that's happening on the floor.
Yeah, and I can understand where you're coming from that, in fairness. I just question how much of that is him, because he did a little bit of that in OKC.
He did a lot of bit of that when he was a starter.
Yeah, and I just wonder if it's more so that because we have so many guards, he's always sharing the floor out there with another point guard, whether it's him and Zoe, him, Coby and Zoe tonight. So I wonder if it's like we have to balance it and get everybody their touches because everybody's kind of better with the ball in their hands, that we don't see him. Like if you put Josh Giddey on a young, here's the thing. I mean, this is not me advocating for Josh Giddey to go to the bench. It's not what I'm saying before people get to typing and putting words in my mouth. If Josh Giddey was in the lineup with him, Dalen, Modest, Jalen Smith, and P. Will, Julian, whoever else you want to throw out there, and you just said, hey, these guys are just going to run. They don't know how to create their own shot. You got to get him the ball. I think his facilitating will look spectacular. But since he's out there with other ball-dominant players, he doesn't always get to do that as much here.
But I feel like the Bulls have turned into such – I mean, listen, even tonight, right, they didn't shoot the basketball well, but they were 49 three-pointers in tonight's game. You're out there with so many catch-and-shoot opportunities. How are you not getting more? Now, again, they didn't shoot the ball well tonight, so maybe that plays into tonight. But even when they're doing the catch-and-shoot, even when they're running the floor, when they did that lineup the other day, and I think it plays into this game as well. When they did that lineup the other day of Lonzo Ball in the starting lineup along with Josh Giddey, and you kind of saw that today, it feels like Lonzo's controlling the offense. It feels like Lonzo's who's really running things, and Josh is just out there, which is when Josh gets lost. That's not what we brought him here to do. That's not what we needed him for coming to the team. Now, maybe that is a Billy Donovan issue. Maybe that's Billy not giving him enough opportunity to control the ball there. But at a certain point, and maybe this is just me. Maybe this is just me as an old NBA. That's weird to say now, but it is 25 years ago, the NBA I'm talking about. Remember when they tried to tell Derrick Rose who he was going to guard or who was going to have the ball in his hand, and he was just like, hey, bro. He was a rookie, by the way, this year. And he was just like, no, that's my ball. And I'm guarding the point guard. I kind of want a little bit of that out of Josh. Because
Josh doesn't have that mentality.
Lonzo doesn't have.
See, but the thing is Josh doesn't have that mentality. Josh, I get what you're saying, but Josh you could see in Josh, he's still very much a young kid, whereas Derrick Rose grew up in Chicago, right? You got to grow up. You got to grow up fast.
This is true.
Josh Giddey's very much hey, okay, that's what you want me to do, coach? Yes, sir, I got you.
He wasn't fighting no kangaroos. That's all I'm saying.
But the thing is, it's also different when you're looking at Vinny Del Negro as your coach as a rookie year, and Billy Donovan sitting there chewing his gum too, and you're also not from Chicago. It's a lot there kind of working against
I'm not going to lie to you. In tonight's game, and by the way, tonight's game is so bad, I focused in on Josh Giddey's possibilities, right? That's how bad tonight's game was. There's nothing to break down from this. There's no great tape. There's nothing. I mean, Modest played solid. All right, but I'll almost say this. When I look at Josh Giddey's game and what it could be, there needs to just be a little bit, and dare I say, this may sound crazy, of Billy Donovan's timeout fury. Because I don't know if you saw this tonight, but Bubblegum Billy was cussing refs out left and right at every single timeout.
Oh, bro, have you? I don't know. I know you in your time off. I don't know how much you were watching, but Billy's been on one this whole season.
Billy's been on one all year,
You've been on one all season, bro.
The Bulls be up 20. He be like, listen here, you mother. I be like,
hey,
really?
Bro, I get it. There's a lot of still things that people can criticize, but when people used to be like, Billy never even gets fired up with the refs to defend his players, it's like he heard that and said, all right, bet, say less. Because this season, Billy's been like, hey, you with the whistle and the stripes, your mama sucks. That's what he's been
saying. I saw Billy Donovan tonight go. That was I can't say it on Locked On because we don't want to lose sponsors on this channel. That was a BA call. I said, oh, Billy, wait a minute. Wow, you've been in the hood. Wait, who you been kicking it with?
People got to remember too, Billy Donovan is from New York. I'm just saying. Billy may be more about that life than what I think some people realize sometimes, bro.
Hey, that mug said that was a snitch A call. I was like, whoa, Billy. Clutch my chain here.
What if the whole time the reason Billy Donovan chews so much gum so violently is because he's trying not to curse people out?
To cuss less?
Yeah.
I would understand Billy so much and I would start chewing more gum. That's a great advertisement for Wrigley. Get in on that.
Yeah. So it is what it is, man. That's Billy Donovan is hilarious. This game, though, I'll say this about this game as well. We got time to talk, but no, we'll get into it in the next segment. I don't want to, because I think you're gonna have a lot to say on it. It is what it is. But here's what I'll say in regards to the Bulls in this game. Just for those that just still had any shred of hope, just drop it. Just stop. There's no hope left for this team.
Hope,
bro. There's still people. There's still people.
It's
Somebody
probably all
asked me
the
today. Somebody asked me today over on Central. Hey, Haize, do you think the Bulls can still get to 40 wins?
40.
40 wins. We're talking wins?
Yeah, 40's crazy.
Bro, we got what, 34 games left, 33 games left?
40's crazy. That's
20-13.
Bro, this team get to 40 wins. We're excited.
Yeah.
That's
bro.
a run.
If they get to 40 wins, that means they finished the season with like a 600 win percentage.
Yeah, that's a run, bro. We having a different conversation. I'm taking back the fact that I said just get rid of these mugs for a sack of yarn.
That's hilarious. All right, next up. That little trigger happy.
That was Nick. That was Nick.
Next up, we're gonna be talking about P. Will and his production off the bench. But first, we got to get to a message from TurboTax. I know some of y'all brokies been waiting to file y'all taxes so you can finally splurge once for the year. But this message is from our sponsor, Intuit TurboTax. Taxes was waiting and wondering and worrying if you were going to get any money back. And then waiting, wondering, and worrying some more. Now Taxes is matching with a TurboTax expert who can do your taxes as soon as today. An expert who gives your taxes their undivided attention as they work on your return while you get real-time updates on their progress so you can focus on your day. As an expert who will find your every deduction possible and file every form, every investment, everything with 100% accuracy. Also, you can get the most money back guaranteed. No waiting, no wondering, no worries. Now this is Taxes. Get an expert now on TurboTax.com. Only available with TurboTax Live full service, real-time updates only in iOS mobile app. See guarantee details at TurboTax.com/guarantees. More Locked On Bulls coming up next. I was about to say, this is the time where Shay really be waiting because it's tax time's the only times he can get new tires for his wheelchair.
Hey,
he's going to get those golden spokes, bro.
Shoot, I was going to say JDH. JDH usually tongue pressing something down around tax time.
Oh, yeah. JDH is about to throw some tuition after he gets his taxes, bro.
Hey, bro, I'm not going to lie to you. If you in 2025 and believe in she doing it for tuition, that's you, my boy. Not much they making an OnlyFans out there.
Well, I mean, they may be doing it for tuition now that they're getting rid of financial aid. They actually have to do
it. Out here doing tuition for Trump and these mugs. Jesus. What were you doing on the show without me? Were you just having a basketball conversation every single show? That's nuts.
No, bro. No, I was roasting people in the chat.
Yeah. That's true.
No, but no, I actually was doing a straight up basketball show. It's crazy. Before I was going to say something before the last segment. I said I didn't want us to kind of run over time. Pat, the Philadelphia 76ers, who are on now a 5-game winning streak, officially have tied the Chicago Bulls now. They also hold the tiebreaker right now because we're 0-2 against them. Now, the Atlanta Hawks did lose Jalen Johnson. They're losing some games in a row. You also got the Toronto Raptors behind the Philadelphia 76ers. They've won 6 games in a row. What do you think, as of right now, what's the % chance that you give the Bulls to hold on to their playing spot?
If we're lucky, 0. But dog, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like maybe JDH in the building. Maybe there is a method to AK's madness. And every time I look at the win column, I guess, right, if your goal is to lose, but say you want to stay competitive, you keep players that can put up 20 on your roster that only can muster 20 wins through 48. Like maybe we're the ones missing the point. Maybe we're the only ones out of the loop, because if you want to keep your pick, it seems like keeping Zach LaVine and Nikola Vucevic is the way to go. Now, Zach LaVine did not play tonight, so that makes a big difference. Sixers are moving up quickly. I mean, I don't believe in the Sixers, but it doesn't seem like the Bulls are they've lost 6 of their last 7, if I'm not mistaken. Doesn't seem like they're on a great win trajectory here. I would almost say, don't be surprised if the Bulls fall below the Nets if they keep losing at this pace. And the Nets are god awful.
I don't know about all that, but like it's that the Bulls and what, especially with Zach LaVine being out, as I don't know, bro. I don't know what's gonna happen anymore. To be 100% honest with you, this is about to get ugly. So
you want to know what the worst part about this is?
Mm-hmm.
It may get so ugly just because I don't believe the Sixers either. I don't believe in the Raptors either. Neither of them may win more games than the Bulls, and the Bulls may stay 10th. Now, with that being said, last year Atlanta had the first overall pick at 10th. Yeah. So who knows?
We'll see. We'll see. But Patrick Williams had another solid night off the bench today. 30 minutes, 6 for 11, 16 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 block, only 2 turnovers. Typically, when Patrick Williams has come off the bench, the production's basically stayed the same. It's actually kind of amazing how Patrick Williams is able to keep the same production no matter the position, the year, the bench role, starter. It's always been about the same. Now, with this, I think that this one is a little bit different because this is the first year where he's playing with a lot of youth also coming off that bench, which I think may be rubbing off on him a little bit. But how are you feeling about Patrick Williams' production? I know it's only 2 games so far, but how are you feeling about it?
He's comfortable. Mm-hmm. I always say, listen, here's the thing I always said about Florida State. Florida State has players that come off the bench and turn into good players in the NBA, turn into starters in the NBA. Florida State has starters that turn into bench players in the NBA. You can't gauge anything by Florida State University because there's a system school. Everyone scores 10 to 12 points. Everyone has about 5 rebounds a game.
From about 8 to 10 shots.
From the first dude on the team to the 12th dude off of the bench. So it is a very tough gauge. But people have always said Patrick Williams was a bench player in college. Of course, he was a starter in high school, but everybody in high school, you're the best player on your team in high school if you're that big. It just feels like a spot where he's comfortable. There's less expectation on me. I can go out there and just play my game. I can do what I need to do. There's not as many people demanding the ball. I'm comfortable here being in the background. I think this is a good role for Patrick Williams. I've said if you're going to keep him on the team, this is probably the role you need to have for him moving forward because it's the role that he's most comfortable in. It is the role that he is most adept to playing on this team. And this season shows it more than any. Every time you put Patrick Williams on the bench, he gets more comfortable. When people show you who they are, believe them. Ayo Dosunmu is one of those rare players that you put him in a starting lineup, he can be a good player.
He's so much different starting.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Like, he's not – I don't think his impact is different, though.
That's a great point. His role
Ayo Dosunmu's impact is the same. Bench, starting, no matter what. That's what he's going to give you. That's why you can see him as a starter. Patrick Williams' impact is completely different as a bench player than it is as a starter. What we saw tonight, and again, in a complete swept under the rug performance by the Chicago Bulls, what we saw tonight from Patrick Williams was a young man who is dare I say, living up to some of the expectation that has been put on him while he's not actually having those expectations on him because he's a bench player. This may just be who this guy is. And this may be where he's comfortable. And this may be where you need to keep him at if you're going to continue to pay him. Again, me and Haize talked about this before I end up leaving Locked On and coming back. Like, $18 million isn't that much money in the modern NBA. I know it sounds crazy to pay $18 million for a bench player. That's not crazy. That's kind of what bench players are getting. If you can get this kind of production out of Patrick Williams, this kind of impact out of Patrick Williams by actually having him in this role, that's where you need to go.
Yeah. I mean, if this is going to continue, then yeah, it should all be. Now, Billy Donovan did come out after the game and basically say he's not committed to keeping Patrick Williams coming off the bench. But I think he should be. I don't even know why we're even having any other conversation. He should be coming off the bench.
Yeah, there's no other answer. I mean, it sucks because you think back to the draft and all the people. Me and you had the conversation the other day. All the people you could have drafted, everybody that could. There is 70% of this draft I would have taken over Patrick Williams. That's gone now. You have to move past that. You have to move past he's the number 4 overall pick in the NBA. You have to move past that he hasn't lived up to the expectations. You have to move past I got game. All right, man, relax, brother. Maybe you got game coming off the bench. And to me, that's where you're most comfortable. That's where I can see you actually having a role on the Chicago Bulls team, which is crazy because there's literally starters that I go, ugh. But it feels like that's where he's at. Billy Donovan should be committed to leaving him there.
We shall see. We shall see.
We shall see. And before we get into this final topic, sorry, I'm not used to those transitions anymore. Before we get into this final topic, talking about the Warriors being back in on Zach LaVine, will Arturas Karnisovas say that's not enough? Probably. We got to tell you about Game Time. I can't do no transitions. You got to do.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, I can't. I don't have that ability.
There you go.
Game Time, ladies and gentlemen. Attending NFL playoff games is an unforgettable experience that brings fans together. Haize, listen, I haven't been to an NFL playoff game because I cover the Chicago Bears. But if we're talking about going to one of these playoff games, I'll tell you what, you can see the excitement. You can see the energy. You can see everything that these playoff games live up to the hype. And you want to know what? Game Time has a new feature that makes getting tickets for those games easy, called Game Time Picks. It just makes getting those tickets to the events even easier. It filters out all the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with the Game Time app. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, use and redeem the code LOCKEDONNBA for a $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute ticket, lowest prices guaranteed.
All right, Pat, before we get up out of here, man, something that actually dropped a little bit right after we were live earlier talking about the whole Nikola Vucevic thing. This one comes from The Athletic, and more specifically a Warriors insider that apparently has a really good track record, that some internally within the Warriors actually are very intrigued by Zach LaVine, even going so far as to saying that there are stakeholders within the Warriors that are really big on adding Zach LaVine to the Golden State Warriors. How you feeling, Pat?
Listen, he fits. if you're gonna trade for any player, listen, me and you have talked about Zach LaVine's catch and shoot percentages over the years. I'll go as far to say, if the Golden State Warriors trade for Zach LaVine, and I don't think that they really understand what they're getting, the Bulls won't get the great value back. Stephen Curry is how old now? 33?
Mm-hmm.
Steph will have 4 more years. If you trade for Zach LaVine, Stephen Curry can play 4 more years. No matter what age we find it. Is he 33? I didn't even look at him.
He's older than that, right?
I feel like he is.
Yeah,
let's see. Stephen Curry, which is crazy. 36. I still stand by it.
Okay.
Stephen Curry will play at a minimum 4 more years if you add Zach LaVine to that team. That's the kind of player Zach is. Catch and shoot. He'll be perfect in that offense. He can create his own shot. Defensively, he's not going to sit there and be able to give you the Klay Thompson impact. But offensively, I think he gives you more of an impact than Klay does because he can put the ball on the floor, get to the bucket, be able to finish around the rim. Those are things that you can't see. I'll say that adding Zach LaVine to that Warriors team reopens a window that we thought was dead. I don't know if they win a championship in that window, but Stephen Curry is a really freaking good superstar, and Zach LaVine is your 2 is really, really good. If he wants to, I think that is a great situation for the Warriors to be in, and there's not going to be a quantifiable price that the Bulls could receive back that's going to work in their favor. Now, what the Bulls probably will receive back is that first-round pick me and you were arguing over for Nikola Vucevic earlier. A late in the draft first-round pick, probably a future second, and you're going to have some players in there to make the money work. So whatever players end up coming back, I think the Bulls end up losing out on that deal in the long term because there's no way that you can win one of these deals at this point. But if you're the Warriors, why wouldn't you want a guy like Zach LaVine?
Yeah, I mean, well, remember they turned it down. They could have had him for Chris Paul straight up, and they said no.
Thank God they said no. Thank God they said no.
No, but Pat, you want them to take it? No, I'm just playing. But yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Because any deal with Zach LaVine and the Warriors would have to include Wiggins, right? There's no other way that they can get it. Wiggins has to be included in it. So let me ask you this, Pat, because this was a conversation when I went live on it earlier. Would you rather have Kuminga or would you rather have a first round? If it came down to them saying you got to have Wiggins, it's either the first round pick or it's Kuminga, and we can make the rest of the salaries work. Which one are you going for?
I would say give me the pick because is the pick this year's draft? Future pick.
Yes.
This year's draft? I would say give me the pick because I don't think that Andrew Wiggins helps you win that many more games. First off, we know who Andrew Wiggins is. He's a 2. He might even be a
3. He's more.
He might even be a 3, right?
Yeah.
Really good 3. Really good at the role. Really good at like, you don't expect me to do anything. I don't expect me to do anything. Him and Patrick Williams walk into a room and they Spider-Man point at each other. You know what I'm saying? Like that's who.
You're hell, bro. You're hell. I just want
I'm
you
just
to
saying,
know that.
bro.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Him and P. Will walk into a room and
they're Spider-Man memeing over not doing nothing. That's crazy, bro.
But
you do it. No, you do it.
No, you take the shot. You take the shot. And Matt Eberflus mad in this mug. Packers lost. But no, at the end of the day, like your goal here is to get better. Jonathan Kuminga is what? Fun piece, solid piece, good big, right? He's not a star. I don't think like people want to talk about Kuminga as if the Warriors are stifling his star. I've seen Kuminga get 40 minutes in a game and put up 11 points. The team does nothing but shoot threes and he's down there to rebound.
I think you're undercutting how he started turning things around. But here's the question that I'll throw to you though. Is Kuminga better than anything that you'll get? Keep in mind, still only 22 years old. Is he better than anything you're going to, because the Warriors pick is only going to be, especially if they get Zach LaVine, 25 or lower. Is he better than anything else you can get at 25?
I'm not going to stunt with you here, Haize. Definitely thought this boy was like 26 years old. Mostly because of face.
He does have he has a very old face.
Him and THT might be cousins.
They have about the same hairline. He just doesn't have the balls. The hairline's the same. The bald spot in the middle is.
Would Chicago save Kuminga though? That's Chicago might save Kuminga because they'll get somebody in Chicago and teach him how to cut a fade.
You gotta take him to Javonte Green's barber.
Yeah, I mean they'll fade him up. They'll get him right. He'll start trapping out the back of a Impala,
dreads?
a 2019 Impala. Yeah, I mean, he'll start trapping out the back of it, and he'll be straight. No,
that's hilarious.
At 22, I hate to do this because it's live on the show. I may backtrack. I may backtrack on the show, bro. I hate to do this.
I was wondering why you're being so hard. That makes sense now that you did, because if you thought that
he was older. I definitely thought he was older. I definitely thought he was older. I thought he was like 26. Is he a 20? Is he a because I know Congolese, right?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah. Is this a you
don't have to worry about any knee issues.
Is this an age situation here where we gotta ask? Yeah, I mean, like, is he really 28? Yeah,
I didn't think about that.
Is this one of them jobs? Yeah,
I didn't think about that.
I mean, Bam Adebayo still in his 20s somehow. I'm trying to figure that out.
That's hilarious, bro.
No, but 22, I'm taking a chance because he's already giving you 16. I take it back.
Okay.
I hate to backtrack on a show like that. That sounds bad. But I can't.
Listen, you're being honest,
I can't pull the P Kid and freak. I'm gonna stand on it. Nah, I can't stand on it.
Shout out to the P Kid for the P Kid shot.
I can't pull the P Kid where I gotta stand on it because I was wrong live on air. 22 years old. I would take Jonathan Kuminga with a Andrew Wiggins, I guess in hope that Kuminga becomes more. But I still, the only thing I'll say is this before we get out of here. I still don't know if there's much more to Kuminga's game.
Okay.
That's the only question I have, because he's not really a big rebounder.
He's not.
He's what, 4 rebounds a game?
Something like that.
Like that's he's got to take shots. So we'll see. We'll see what ends up happening with that.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Any last thoughts before we get up out of here?
He's better than Patrick Williams.
Oh yeah. I mean, duh. Absolutely.
6'7", better than Patrick Williams. I take it.
That is hilarious, man. We appreciate you guys for staying in tune with us, man. Y'all make sure y'all follow Pat over at Pat the Designer. You can follow us collectively at Locked On Bulls. And yeah, we're gonna take a day off tomorrow as long as this news drop. Like Zach LaVine maybe what if Zach LaVine did play his last game? Maybe they sent him home to go have some time with his kid before he actually gets traded.
Hey, I got news. Speaking of Zach LaVine and his kid,
my nephew coming home?
Baby boy coming home tomorrow.
Yeah. Oh, that's what I love to hear, bro. When he coming home tomorrow? That's what's up.
We're gonna go get him in the afternoon because this sounds so bad. The Bears decided to schedule their coaches to speak tomorrow at like 12, at like 11. So I'm gonna do that first, and then I'm gonna go get baby boy inside. Look.
How can you turn something so pure, so bad, so quickly? No, I'm just playing. Yeah, baby boy coming home, but I got to talk to these coaches first. I got to talk to these coaches.
No, not the coaches. I'm not on the Zoom. I got to cover it right after, and then we're going to get baby boy after.
All right, yeah. I mean, it is what it is. He'll understand it. But good news. Shout out to Pat. Keep him and his wife and family in prayers, man, as they, have a new life in their home, man. But that is it for us, man. We'll see y'all later. Peace.
Rob said, kids are bulls. Kids all day. Oh, kids are bears. All right, Rob.